Hello, teachers. There we go. There we go. Hello, everybody. Thanks. We're just going to wait a few minutes, see if a few more parents trickle on here. But I wanted to get our meeting up and started and ready to go so that everybody knew we were here and just get any technical difficulties out of the way in case we had any. So if you just give us a couple minutes, we'll wait for a few more families to join us and then we'll get started tonight. Miss Pam, so nice to see your face, even though I see you all the time. All right. How's everybody doing tonight? I'd love it if you guys could turn your cameras on if possible. I'd love to be able to see your guys' faces because we don't get to see them very often anymore. I am stepping away from other teachers so I can wear my mask off so you can actually see my face. I'm almost to the point that I feel like I have forgotten what people look like even. Katie, I don't think I've ever actually seen your face, so it's nice to see you. Oh, hi, Reed. How you doing there, buddy? All right, Miss RiLee is going to be starting us off tonight. Oh, hi, Chris. You having dinner there, bud? Looks like you're getting ready to eat something. Can everybody hear me okay? Great. Good. I'm seeing some head nods. You're welcome. So we'll go ahead and kind of get started with like kind of the plan for the night. It was in the email. Obviously, if you have the materials with you, fantastic. You can go ahead and make them right along with the teachers. If not, that's not a problem. You can kind of see how it's done. You might remember it and be able to do it on your own. If not, the meeting is being recorded and we will share it within the next couple of days up on our YouTube channel. So then that way you can go back and watch it if you need to, make materials along with the teachers. We'll start with the infant classroom with Miss RiLee, and she'll go over a few things with us with some put and take works and hand transfer works. And then we will move in with Miss Tina in our toddler classroom. And she actually is going to cover our whole transfer shelf. Yes. The whole transfer shelf. So she's going to have quite a few things for you to choose from to make. And they're all very simple and all very easily should be able to be found at home. And then we'll move into early childhood with Miss Mona, where she'll be talking about cutting and pinning. And the whole idea of our meeting tonight is we wanted to give you the opportunity to see not only how some of our materials are made, to show you that some of them are very easily made at home and can be done at home, but also they'll give you a presentation on how that how that lesson is given to the children. So when they give that lesson to the children, you can see what that looks like, and then you can try to replicate it at home as well. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Miss RiLee, are you ready?
Yep,
All right.
ready.
I'm going to turn you around to Miss RiLee, and she's going to get us started. If at any point you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to unmute yourself and jump right in. Or if you need to see something up closer, just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask for some more direction or ask your question. And then, of course, at the end, we'll have time for questions too. All righty, well, I'm going to turn around and take it away, Miss RiLee.
Hi, everyone. So today we're going to learn about put and take. So put and take is a really easy tool for children to learn like a picture grid and put something into something and taking it right back out. So there's different levels of put and take. First, we would like to start with this one. So this is easy. Everyone has wipes at home, right? So you can put anything you would like into your put and take. So here we have some washcloths. And so the children can open it. They can take them out and put them back in. And it's really fun to take and put in. And I've seen children do these for hours and hours. So you can use scarves, usually tissues and stuff, they'll eat them. But yeah, anything that's flimsy, and you can pull them out.
I've also seen large buttons used with something like that. So it doesn't have to be cloth necessarily.
Yeah, crescent rolls, the little metal caps on the end of the crescent.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Those make a fun noise as well.
Yeah. So moving on, we have a puffs container. I'm just taking the outside of it. And so it has a nice big opening. You can see how it has an opening. And so in this one, we're going to put some puff balls and put it in. You'll always want to have a bowl to put your items into. And so they'll put it in. And then they'll have, their little hands can fit, my hands don't fit. But we can have fun taking them out too. So that's another idea. And so here's another one. We have just coffee creamer container, and it has a nice little hole. So we're gradually getting smaller and gradually getting harder. So this one, we have smaller pom-poms. Put in just like that. And you can have, probably depending on your children, you can have about 5. And if they really like it, they want to keep going, then you can put more. It just depends on how big of a mess you want. And then they can shake them out. They have a lot of fun time shaking them out. They came out very nice and easy. So then we're going to do another one. So you can also buy just for a shaker for like Parmesan, I guess a big salt shaker. Usually it's used for Parmesan. And it has a lid. This is a little bit harder to open. And this one we use with our straws. And so it's thicker. And so then once they get that dexterity, they can put it in. So that's another one that they can use. And then here's some more examples of containers that you can use. They have really easy open lids and really easy close lids. And then we're also going to show you how to make your own. So you need just a container, easy open lid. I had a hard time taking the sticker off. I'm sure if I worked at it more or a glue gun, it'd probably work better. So then you have your X-Acto knife. And so then you're gonna cut a little hole. And you're just gonna keep cutting until you make a nice circle. And then, since we don't have that much time, but then I usually like to put masking tape over top the hole to help cutting fingers. And so this will be our hardest one to master because it's bendable. So you really have to concentrate on pushing it through the hole and getting it all in there. But it makes a cool sound, very sensory, and they get all the way in. And then there you go. And that's your fun one you can do at home.
Does anybody have any questions for Miss RiLee? Miss RiLee, do you want to will you do a presentation like you're giving me a lesson on one of these works so they can see the whole, the language that you use with the children, how you use the tray?
This one. So you would like a tray that fits all of your materials. Oh, there it is. Gotta make sure.
So everything is taught left to right, top to bottom. So when presenting a work to a child, you're going to want to make sure that you present it to them left to right.
And so I say, oh,
I'm going to come on the same side as you because
okay.
you would normally present on the same side as the child. So is this still the right direction?
Um,
Okay.
so today we're going to do put and take work. So we have our pom-poms. We have our container. We're going to open. Open. Do you see the hole? Now let's put the poms into the hole. Wow. Ooh. Would you like a turn? Very nice. Oh, well, let's pick that one up. Let's put it back into the hole. Ah, you did it that time. We got one more. We'll try again. Into the hole. You did it. Okay. Oh, let's stop. Look, we're going to gently put them into our bowl one at a time. Very nice. Very nice. Now let's shake a little bit more out. Oh, do you want to turn? Oh, they're empty. All gone. All right, thank you. Now can you go put that back on the shelf?
Excellent. All right. So I don't think Miss RiLee was expecting me to throw them around, but we got to keep them on our toes. So does anybody have any questions? Did you guys hear the language that Miss RiLee used with the kiddos, that even if they missed, no big deal. We just say, oh, look at that. Let's try to pick that one up from over here. And she just stayed very calm and very quiet and allowed the child a chance to, introduce the child to it and encourage them if they would like a turn. Most of the time, as soon as you start the presentations, the children start going in and start wanting to grab and touch. And so if need be, you can do some hand over hand work with that. All right, we're going to move to Miss Tina over here. She's got lots of great examples for us. Hi, Miss Tina.
Hi. So we said left to right for most works, but with our dry pouring, which is the first stage of transfers, we actually go right to left because most children, they start out using their right hands. So if they do end up being left-handed, it's just natural to, if they pick it up, they'll just switch. So dry pouring is the one exception to the left to right rule. But on our transfer shelf, the whole concept is to transfer items. So you just need vessels and you need pieces. On the first shelf, we have all of our dry pourings, and there are 4 different types of dry pouring. There is no spout and no handle. There is handle and no spout. We have spout and no handle, and we have spout and handle. So it's all different types of ways to hold the pouring vessel, and they go from easy to more difficult because once you add in the handle, that's a specific spot you have to hold it. Once you add in the spout, that's a specific spot to pour it from. So to introduce a pouring work, you pretty much introduce it the same exact way, but different ways that you can create these works at home. Obviously, this is a little shot glass, or you could use a little ramekin, anything that has no spout and no handle. You could even use small bowls, just like regular sized drinking cups. With the no spout and handle, you could use a little mug. These are actually very hard to find in this small size.
So yes, if anybody ever finds some, please let us know where you found them at so we can get some.
This is like our only one that we have. We have one in green and one in yellow. And then little creamers, obviously, and little gravy boats, little other creamers that have handles and spouts. Gravy boats are pretty fun because then it's a wider vessel and it's just a different pouring experience. But to introduce it, you'll start with it. Here, I'll come over to you.
Perfect, thanks. So when presenting to a child, you want to sit next to them so that you guys are working in the same direction.
I'm actually left-handed, so this is a little bit odd for me. Look. You want to kind of do it quietly with this work so that they can hear the objects falling in, because the sound that it makes is a point of interest. And then you start slowly like that. You can either have them go back and forth or turn it around. You pour slowly and then faster. That way you start off pouring slowly so that they see one item drop in and they know it's in the right spot. Say, oh no, pick it up.
And that's part of the reason you want to keep it in the tray. Then that way, if they do spill, it's keeping your small objects all contained in one place. Makes them a little bit easier for them to clean up.
Different small objects that you can use for pouring are little beads like this. This is just a little flower shaped bead for spring. You can use little pony beads. You can use this work. We have buttons. You can, this is like, I mean, you can
Hold it
find
slower.
little tiny, a bit slower.
No, it's just in your hand.
You can find little tiny things at like the Dollar Tree. You can use popcorn kernels. You can dye popcorn kernels into different colors. Uncooked pasta, uncooked rice, uncooked beans, uncooked couscous. Like there's all kinds of
Little mini erasers.
little mini erasers. We love to get those from Target in the parent section. Sometimes the kids like to try to eat the erasers. Same with the pasta, noodles, and stuff. But you know, it's part of the learning process of no. We don't eat work. We eat food. But yeah, things that make noise in the wintertime, we like to use little tiny jingle bells because of the holidays. But yeah, anything small, anything that'll make a noise. You don't necessarily want to use pom-poms or cotton balls with the pouring because it doesn't make a noise and it's not as fun. But for a work like hand transfer, cotton balls would be perfectly fine. With hand transfer, there's two ways that you can do a hand transfer. You can either have a tray like this where there's individual pockets, or you can just do two bowls. If you do two bowls, it would just basically be like this, where you would just transfer over. It would be a hand transfer. It's back. It works on the pincer grip, just like the put and take. But for a pocket work like this with the hand transfer, this is actually a Ferrero Rocher tray. You can use those like deviled egg trays. You can use egg cartons, anything with little individual pockets. And then you just want to have enough items to go into the pockets. This is a work that Miss Allie created for her March theme. And it's so perfect because the little beads are like the exact perfect size in the tray. And then this is the work. They just take it, they use their pincer grip, and they put it in each hole.
Does it matter what order they put them in, or if they do it in a certain order?
Nope. As long as they're filling every hole. And to be honest, sometimes they don't have the focus to do it yet, but we try to encourage them to try to complete the whole tray. And part of the work is always taking it back out and putting it in the original tray.
And what if they choose to just walk away?
Then we would encourage them to come back, and language we use is, oh, this work looks sad, let's make this work happy, and we'll put it back together and make it ready for our next friend. That way it's ready to go for the next friend that wants to use it.
I'd have to say, as a grown-up, even that is very visually appealing.
Yes.
What
The
a,
transfer shelf is like my favorite shelf. I'm not gonna lie.
it also allows for a lot of creativity.
Yes. So again, introducing it to them, you would just say, in the toddler classroom, we do things very quickly. Well, we try to do things very quickly. We do our presentations without a lot of language so they can focus on the movement. And you'll find with the toddlers that as you're presenting it, they will be very focused on what you're doing. But yeah, you would show them how to do it about halfway through. And you'd say, would you like a turn? And let them have a turn doing it until they finish it. And then you'll wait until they've completed it, show them how to put it back. And then you'll say, okay, let's put it back on the shelf. And then after hand transfer, we come into scooping and spooning. The only difference between scooping and spooning, scoops have a deeper well. So you can use a ladle for a scoop. You can use an actual scoop like this. For spooning, a spoon, I mean. And then you present it pretty much the same between spooning or scooping. We'll say, here's our scoop. And any work that you make, you want to try out as the adult first, because if you can't do it, they won't be able to. And you will find that sometimes you'll think something's a great fit, and then you'll try it, and it's just very difficult. So you'll show them how to do scoops. Oops. And if it falls out, you just say, oops, and you fix it. And that's how you would show them how to do it. And then you would say, would you like a turn? And they would take their turn, and they'd say, okay, if you're all done, put it away. Also with presentation of the tray, and then the right back with the right hand. Want to switch it around. So that's scooping and spooning. And then we move into tonging and tweezing, which, like scooping and spooning, are very similar works. Tongs are bigger, they're a little bit easier to hold in theory. And then the tweezers are a bit more precise. So like with tonging and tweezing both, you'll have your items, you'll say squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You'll show them how to squeeze it. And then squeeze, squeeze. Oh, we got two on that one. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then you'd say, would you like a turn? And they would take their turn. You can also show them how to put it back for the next friend to be ready.
Are these things that the children tend to do one time, or do they do it over and over?
Depends on the child, depends on their focus. A lot of the time they will do it over and over. We have one toddler in our classroom that when she does the dry pouring, she will literally sit there and go back and forth for a very long time. I think she really likes the noise that it makes. And then for scooping and tonging and everything, all you really need are a bowl, the necessary, or two bowls, the necessary tools, and then like the items. Like I said, cotton balls work really well for like tonging and tweezing, or even spooning. It's a little bit more challenging with the spooning and scooping, because if you've ever played that party game where they blindfold you and then you have to scoop cotton balls into the other bowl, and then you take off the blindfold and you're like, oh, I scooped nothing, because you can't feel it. Little push balls like this. These are just those like beads that you get for like filling bases and things. We've used pebbles, we've used erasers again. Anything small. This right here is little tiny veggies, because we're doing a farm theme this month. So little corn, or little carrots and little corn. Yeah, just anything small that they can practice their transferring skills with.
Wonderful. Does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask Miss Tina before I move into our early childhood class? Thinking everybody is looking pretty quiet. We've got a lot of people eating.
Well, it's dinner time.
It is dinner time. All righty. So I'm going to thank you, Miss Tina. Thank you, Miss RiLee. We're going to head into the early childhood class and see what Miss Mona has for us. I saw her setting up earlier and it looked pretty exciting. Oh, sorry about that. All right, here we go. Good evening. They cannot see you yet. So Miss Mona is here with us in the EC classroom. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to let you take it away. And if at the time you want to present, you want me to come stand next to you so we're on the same side, just let me know.
Okay.
All right, here's Miss Mona.
Okay. Hello. One of the things I forgot to mention in our list, we need a pen and a washcloth, just a little hand towel. So I wanted to show you first. This is what we're trying to replicate. This is a pinning work that I've started. It's just a circle traced on a piece of construction paper. And I've used, this is the pin that we use. It looks a lot like a pencil. And the children will poke the holes all the way around. And sometimes they don't know, so I show the back, like we can see where it's not complete here. And then they can go back and pin the holes back. So now we can check it. And now it's complete. So then they'll take this and pull it apart. And it takes some skill to be able to pull this apart. And so they might need your help. So this is what we have in the classroom. And what we'll do is we'll just use some regular things from Roundhouse to replicate that. So then one other thing we can do here is we can glue it, which creates a nice effect. Do that here. And then
Okay, and glue on your table.
and
And that happens. Luckily, it wipes off fairly easily.
yeah. I thought, I'm a grown-up, I don't need a placemat. So then they can look at it on both sides and it kind of makes a cool effect. So this is something we have in the classroom, very easy to achieve here at home. Well, at home. So I'll put my supplies up. So I have two different pins here, push pins, a large one and a small one. And just depending on your child's hand dexterity, it might be easier to hold that big one with more fingers. And if they're able to hold a pencil pretty well, then you can use a small one that kind of forces that 3-finger grip with the pin.
And if anybody wanted to get really serious, these are available for purchase at Montessori Services. So you have to buy them in like packs of 3 though. So I'm not sure you'd need 3 at home, but that is where we get them from, Montessori Services.
Right. So I've cut down some paper. You don't have to. You can use construction paper or regular computer paper. Construction paper works best because it's a little softer. So you can take anything, a jar, and trace it. That didn't go so well, but that's what happens. We've got our circle, or then you've also got your cookie cutters that you can use. A heart for a little simpler, straighter lines, and you just trace it. And this is very similar to other works that we have in the classroom, metal inset work. And if your child can trace it also, this provides part of the control of the pencil where they're pushing against something. So that's also an option. And then if your child can do a little more, has a longer attention span, we can use a more advanced cookie cutter like that. And again, you just trace it. Pretty simple. So we have both of those options. And you can choose just about anything you can trace in the classroom is golden for your options here. So then we'll just take our washcloth. Again, that replaces the felt mat, just something soft for the pin to go through.
Assuming you don't want a washcloth that you love,
Yeah.
maybe an old one that you don't use quite so much anymore.
Well, even those, it doesn't.
I don't know. Does it hurt it or does it not hurt it?
No,
Okay.
no. Like this one may, if it's like a microfiber cloth, this one, because the pin is bigger, but these will not really, it won't make a difference. But yeah, again, if you're kind of
Concerned about it.
concerned about that, then by all means, do what you gotta do. So a lot of times the children lose their patience and they'll want to scrape it like this. They want to tear it. The object more so is to make the holes because they're learning how to use the pressure of that. And sometimes they'll get creative and make eyes and a smile. And that's okay. You know, they're using their creativity and it's making it fun for them. And, you know, it's just entertaining. And so if they're not sure if they're done, then we can show the back and see, there's just part of the circle. It's not all the way there. Or you can also hold it up to the light and show them where the holes are. I don't know.
Yep,
Does
you
that
can.
work?
Yep.
Yeah. So you can say, okay, so there we can't see the light all the way around, so we need to make some more holes over here, which is another kind of cool effect for them to have fun with, you know. And then they can also do the gluing.
What does this work continue on into the classroom? What else do you do with the pinning work?
Well, oh yeah. Okay, so a lot of these will, once they master this and they get a little bit into our culture lessons, we start working with maps. And especially the continent map is one of the favorites, where part of the an extension of the lesson is once they learn the names of the continents, then they can trace them. They trace the continent themselves, and they pin out the continents, and it's called Reconstructing the World. And they trace a big circle on both on a bit larger piece of paper and make the map with the pin, the continents pinned out. And so that may take a day or two to, with the focus and the concentration and being able to trace the continent. Sometimes they need help, and that's where we come in. But we use it for that too. And on a greater scale, even the United States, we've done that before too. So that takes a lot of attention and it's very exciting, but excuse me. So we'll move on to cutting. This is what we use in the classroom. I have just a basic blank strip of paper, and this is just a representation of the next step. This goes in stages, and these are just 3 of the stages that we show in the classroom. Now, the first one, these are all for 1 snip for the paper, and they can cut this however they want because there's no lines here. This is a little cutting pocket, and they can keep their papers in. So if you're wondering why all these little envelopes are coming home, your child has worked very hard in cutting up all of these, and then they have to sweep it up, and you know they fall on the floor. So it's not just little tiny pieces of cutting. They've actually sat and cut and swept and put everything in there. So again, this is a little more advanced where they have to match up the line. And they snip. It's just 1 snip for these. And then again here, excuse me, they learn how to turn the paper and cut the curves. So it's a little more tricky, but they learn how to do these lines. So that's what we've got here in the classroom. And you can, these are very easy to make at home. Again, I've cut another sheet, and you can even just fold it. You don't really need a ruler even to make these strips. Or I did this backwards, but that's okay. You can get a ruler if you want, or just draw the lines. You can do, we also have one that's diagonal. They don't have to be very close together. You can just do it like this. And if you want narrower, then go ahead and fold it again. Now we've got two options here. Once your child has cut, you can use a regular mailing envelope to collect the pieces, or you can glue them, which is also, you know, another extension. And so you can have your another piece of construction paper, or you can draw something and have them make a mosaic out of it. There's lots of options you can do here, which is just so much fun for the children. One of my favorite things, especially at home, because actually my mom used to do this with me when I was little. She was huge on coupons. And so she would have me go through the Sunday paper and cut out all the coupons. But one of the things you can do here is another cutting and learning exercise. So I've got a paper here, and you can choose anything. Let's say, to make it easy, fruits and vegetables. So I've got the paper folded in half. So one side is fruit, the other side is vegetable, and give them the newspaper and let them cut stuff out. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know, by any means, but there's just so much you can do here. You know, they can cut it, they can find it. If they want to cut it neatly, you know, if your child is more skilled, then, you know, they can go around the corners, or you can give them a crayon or a pencil or something, and they can draw a circle around it. And they can cut out the fruit with a circle like that. And then they can glue this stuff. And then coupons, don't ask me why I couldn't find a coupon. Don't know. But there's also a lot of straight lines. So if you just want them to practice straight lines, there's lots of options, and you can still do that. Let's cut out some vegetables. Well, here's a vegetable, or cut out a 5 and, you know, cut out S. There's so many things you can use with the newspaper to incorporate the cutting and a learning exercise. You could even do the food groups, you know, let's find all the junk food and cut out sodas and ice creams and stuff. But yeah, there's so many fun things. So we have those with the list. You can also find these, just these little magazines you see around town, you know, even the ones that we have in the front office. Sometimes we have the Omaha Mommy magazine.
Yeah, the Mamaha.
Mamaha, that's what it's called. So just, I kind of flipped through here. There's just all kinds of little pictures, just of interest, and they can make their own collage. Like here's some fruits from a farmer's market, fun looking colorful letters, a cat. There's just lots of things. You can just let them flip through any magazine that you have, and they can cut that stuff out and make collages, or they can just have a little envelope and collect the little pictures. Like Menards mailers, find all the tools and cut out all the trucks, or, you know, different things like that. There's lots of, those are all language lessons, sorting fruits and vegetables, and vocabulary, identifying, those are blueberries, these are grapes. Find the basketball or, the football or things like that with the sports section. Also, which is super fun, is the comics. These are great. These are fun pictures. Here's Garfield eating a burger. That would be fun to cut out and glue on a piece of paper. And so they've got their creativity going. They've got language going, sorting. They've got all of these thinking activities. Plus, they're building up their fine motor and their attention span. So there's a whole plethora of things that just go into just a cutting lesson. So it's not really just that, but there's just so much. That's, again, you hear me say this 1,000 times, the lesson behind the lesson. There's so much to it. So easy to do, fun, and keeps your attention.
Absolutely. And would you welcome the children if they were to make one of these creations at home to bring it in and share it at school?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We would love to have them be able to make something and talk about it. And that's, again, if you've ever heard, when you learn a skill and you're able to teach someone else how to do it, that means you know how to do it. So yeah, that would be great to have them come in and say, I did this, I made it, and talk about it. And we'd be more than happy to do that. That would be great.
Wonderful. Does anybody have any questions for Miss Mona on the cutting, the pinning? And there was kind of a lot of lessons all in one there.
Yeah.
Feel free to unmute yourself and jump right in. All right. Going once, going twice. All righty. Well, I am not seeing anybody jumping in with questions. I want to take just this last minute here, since nobody has any questions at all or anything they'd like to share, just to thank you so much for popping on with us live tonight, and for all of our friends who are watching the recording at home or in the future. Thank you so much for watching. The teachers really love giving these lessons, if you can't tell. And there are so many variations that you can take on these lessons that we do at school and do them at home. Or it's so interesting how just changing one little component, such as in our dry pouring, changing what you're pouring, how it re-excites the children all over again. So there's so many ways you can adapt it, adjust it, bring it into home is so simple. And hopefully seeing these demonstrations has shown you that and has kind of inspired you to try some of these things at home. One thing I always love to share with the pouring, if you are wanting to start allowing them to do wet pouring, a safe place to do that is in the bathtub. So give them some vessels. Miss Tina had talked about vessels, the different cups, and give them to them in the bathtub. So they're pouring back and forth, or you're giving them different size cups or measuring cups, and do it in the bath. So it's something that's entertaining them in the bath, but they're also practicing that hand transfer work and that pouring work right already in a safe place where you don't have to do any extra cleanup at all. So in the future, if you guys need anything at all, our teachers are always happy to help, always happy to answer any questions for you. And again, thank you so much for joining us here at La Bella Vita and entrusting your child's education to us. So thank you all, everybody. You guys have a great night, and everybody enjoy the rest of their dinners. I see you're all eating. So have a great night, guys, and talk to you soon. Bye. Bye, guys.